All right. J block. The hiring committee, which is the voters in your district, have several important questions for you as a candidate for Sandoval County Commission District 2. They are looking for the person who is best qualified to represent them and most aligned with their values. You will have 1 minute to introduce yourself and then have 2 minutes per question. You will be signaled when there are 30 seconds left to conclude your response. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. I sure am. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks for being here. If you would, please state your name as it will appear on the ballot and spend a minute telling the voters in your district why you're the best candidate.
The name will appear J-A-Y, middle initial C, last name Block on the ballot. A little bit about my background is I spent 25 years in the Air Force, 21 as an officer, 4 as an enlisted person. I retired as a lieutenant colonel, as a combat veteran, as a nuclear weapons officer. I basically was one of the guys who had the nuclear codes for the country ready to execute those weapons. After living around the world and being a commander on foreign soil a couple times, I picked up some skills where I applied them in private industry, where I'm currently a nuclear weapons consultant doing business development. And a little bit about my educational background. I have an undergraduate degree from North Dakota State University and a master's degree from Troy State University, and moved here in 2015 and fell in love with New Mexico, fell in love with Sandoval County, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Sandoval County, because of the good schools for my family, safe communities, and great infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. The first question, what, if any, tax increases should be considered to help balance and maintain the county budget?
Well, tax increases is always a last resort. And if you remember in 2017, we had to actually increase GRT taxes because of the detention center. This county commission, since I was elected in 2016, fixed that detention center. For 30 years, previous county commissions ignored it, and it was dilapidated. It was unsafe for the officers, the inmates, and the public. So we had to come up with millions of dollars to refurbish the detention center. That was a last resort. We looked everywhere for that money. We just did not have the money. So when it comes to the public safety, yes, we did increase taxes, GRT, by 1/8 of 1%. And, but we've had other opportunities to look at budget spending within our budget and cutting some areas in our spending. And again, the last thing we look at is tax increases to the public. And we run a very, very lean budget in Sandoval County, one of the leanest in the entire state when it comes to the number of employees per population. So our focus is on public safety and infrastructure and bringing businesses here. So the more businesses that we bring here, the larger the tax base, and we're the fastest growing county in the state. Rio Rancho is the fastest growing city. So we see a lot of tax base industries coming in, whether it's business or home development. But yeah, last resort.
Okay, thank you. Considering Local Economic Development Act, or LEDA, how should these funds be used specifically? Who should they go to? How should they be determined? And what controls should be in place for their use?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's something that we've done on this commission since Chairman Dave Heil and I have been elected. We set up for the first time ever in Sandoval County an economic development fund that uses exactly what you're talking about, LEDA funds, through our economic development director. We've created over 250 jobs in Sandoval County with existing small businesses that we've been able to expand. Most of those small businesses have been in my district. In fact, both of them have been in Corrales. We look at infrastructure and technology. I'm sorry, not manufacturing and technology. Those are the businesses that we have targeted to expand. AmFab in Bernalillo is one of them. They're now 24 hours. They hired quite a few employees to meet their demand in the marketplace. And the same thing in my district. One of the amazing businesses that we have is Ideum. Ideum is a small business known worldwide for tabletop interaction computers. And we were able to provide them some LEDA funds, and they've expanded their business. The same thing with Ex Novo Brewery in Corrales, same thing there. So when you talk about the controls, you can build in these various clawbacks based on metrics. And that's what we've done here, because we want to make sure when we are providing money to these businesses to hire people, we want to make sure that the public is getting back more than what it gave. And right now we're ahead of the game here in Sandoval County, and that's important. But one thing I am totally against is subsidizing any industry where the public is on the losing end. When you look at the movie industry here in New Mexico, we're getting killed. We're only getting roughly back 42 cents per dollar for the movie industry. I can't support that. But when we're getting back more money than what we're giving out in LEDA funds, that's a big win for the taxpayer. It's a big win for Sandoval County. It's a big win for jobs.
Thank you. Do you support the county passing employment-related ordinances that have to do with such things as minimum wage, personnel work scheduling, or mandatory paid leave? Answer yes or no, and then please explain your answer.
So for the minimum wage, no. For the work scheduling, I think now with the Corona pandemic, yes, we can do some work scheduling things. And with mandatory paid leave, no. These things were voted down previously by the public in Albuquerque. In fact, here in Sandoval County, in a bipartisan manner, this has not even been brought forward because we know the devastating effects it would have on small businesses. And currently right now, Carla, with everything that we have going on with the pandemic, the last thing small businesses need is more regulation and more reporting to the state. I can't favor that. When you look at Albuquerque, for instance, it's been a perfect storm down there with the art project that destroyed businesses, closed for a couple years, and the art project has just been a disaster for the city. No one wanted it, and it was forced down our throats. And who was hurt? The small businesses were hurt. In fact, the city council, I believe, even voted against a minimum wage down there, which is mostly Democratic, and the voters also don't favor it. So no, I think the voters understand perfectly that the more regulations you put on small businesses, the more businesses are going to close or they're going to contract. My opponent believes that we should have more regulations. We should have minimum wage, mandatory paid leave, and other regulations for small businesses that will destroy it. And here in Sandoval County, we have an urban area with Rio Rancho, but we have a big rural area. And when you start placing more restrictions on the rural small businesses, you're going to kill them. And when you kill those businesses, you're going to lose people in the rural areas to come to Rio Rancho to look for jobs. So you're breaking up families. That's not the way to go. And Albuquerque is still recovering from the art disaster, the pandemic, some other anti-business measures that have been passed down there. They're also trying to recover from the riots, the violent protests down there that have destroyed small businesses. And my opponent has not once spoken out against any of that. That's not what we need in Sandoval County to turn our county into Albuquerque.
Thank you. What's the single most important thing that should be done to improve the business environment in Sandoval County?
Get government out of the way. What I've done as a county commissioner is I have visited numerous small businesses and talked to small business owners. I'm involved with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm involved with the Sandoval Economic Alliance. What we do is we go and we ask businesses, what can we as government do to help you? And what the business owners are saying, stay out of our way. Just stay out of our way. Let us operate our businesses freely without overarching restrictions. So and we have a reputation up here in Sandoval County of being very pro-business. We were the first county to pass right to work. When we did that, we had numerous site selectors look at us. We are ripe for the picking for some incredible development over on Paseo del Volcan, which will link I-40 with 550. And now you're starting to see a little bit build over there with the FedEx building and the Amazon Fulfillment Center. That to me is exciting for Rio Rancho and Sandoval County. And what we can do is help them with infrastructure, businesses with infrastructure, so they can grow. and let them grow and let them prosper. A business owner knows a hell of a lot more what he or she needs to be successful than the government.
Thank you. In 2 minutes or less, please state your name again as it will appear on the ballot and tell the hiring committee why you believe you are the best candidate to represent the Sandoval County Commission, District 2.
Thanks again, Carla, for having me. My name is Jay Block. I bring a lot of experience in the private sector and in government as a retired Air Force officer to Sandoval County. I'm the only veteran on the commission. My priorities, number one, is obviously public safety. If you don't have a safe community, businesses aren't going to come here. I'm the only candidate ever in Sandoval County to be endorsed by the Deputies Union and the Firefighters Union. In fact, my county, my district, Rio Rancho is the #1 place to live, and Corrales is the safest place to live. No other county commissioner can brag about that, and it's not my doing. It's the doing of all the people that live in District 2 who are amazing, who do great things every day. So economic development is my second priority. Infrastructure, I talked about PDV. I've also been able to get some roads done here, Sarah, Meadowlark, which connects Corrales to Rio Rancho, and Southern, which has been a huge success. And then the environment. This county commission has, for the first time ever, done illegal dumping cleanup by hiring a trash hauler that has gone around the county to over 24 sites to clean illegal dumping, removing almost 400,000 pounds of trash out of Sandoval County. Never happened before. We've also came to an agreement to shut down the Vulcan mine in Placitas early as well. That never happened before. We fixed the detention center, which for 30 years was left to rot. I've also fought to protect our Second Amendment with the Second Amendment Sanctuary County here. And my main focus, and the other thing I'm very proud of is before I was elected, Intel lost 2,000 jobs between 2013 and 2016. We renegotiated the IRB with Intel. And since 2017, when I took office, they've hired almost 500 new people. So I have a very pro-business, pro-infrastructure, pro-economic development, pro-environment, pro-public safety record that I'm very proud of. No other county, no other district can boast the accomplishments that we had. My opponent wants to make our county look like Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco, and that's not the direction that we need to go. She's not once supported our public safety, our police officers, by condemning the violence, and that's one of the reasons why even our own sheriff, a Democrat, won't even endorse her. We don't need those radical politics here in Sandoval County.
Thank you. The hiring committee, the voters of New Mexico in your district, will let you know on November 3rd if you have been selected to fill the position. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the great work that New Mexico Business Coalition does. Very much appreciate it, Carla.
Thank you.